Hey everybody, I missed posting yesterday because I went and hung out with a friend that graduated from college and works out of state. She was back for the day, so I hung out with her for a little bit and that was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna talk about something completely random. I'm gonna talk about how I got my ears pierced because it's kind of a funny story. And that squeaking you hear is me bouncing Molly and her bouncer. She is asleep, so we will see what happens there. I got my ears pierced when I was 11 years old. I was in the fifth grade. And it's really stupid, kind of like how I got inspired, I guess, to get my ears pierced. Um, like when I was little, I had no interest in getting my ears pierced. Like I thought it was something older people did, so I'd never really noticed or like I noticed my mom put in earrings, but I never was like, oh, I want my ears pierced, like ever when I was a little kid. But there was this girl in my fifth grade class. Her name was Lindsay, and she was like a total mean girl, and I totally fell for it. And it's that's just how kids are. They're mean. But anyway, she was kind of a diva, and I just randomly one night had a dream that she lived in a mansion, and I visited her mansion. And it was like really posh and really cool. There was lots of white stuff around. There were like some really, and because it was a dream, there were like weird things. Like there was a bed that was like 2 feet wide and 6 feet long, so it was like really weird. I remember that. Okay, keep in mind, this is like forever ago. I actually like on an old computer on Kid Pics, like kind of drew out scenes from that dream, but obviously I don't really have access to that computer right now. But for whatever reason, when I woke up, that dream, that silly dream, inspired me to get my ears pierced. So, like, I have no idea where that came from, but that's how little 10, 11-year-old minds work, I guess. So, I told my little friends at school that I wanted to get my ears pierced, and like I was convinced my mom was gonna say no, of course, because like, what mom says, yeah, sure. So I told all my little friends first, and they were like, oh, that's so cool, here's what you should tell your mom. And so they were like giving me advice on to like what I should tell my mom for when she would say no, what to retaliate with. I don't remember what they said. But they were like, oh, good luck. So I remember I got home and I was just like, Mom, can I get my ears pierced? And she was like, yeah, sure, we can do it like in 2 weeks when Kyon's at dance practice. And I was like, wait, what? Did you say yes? I was not expecting her to say yes. And so she said yes. And I was like, I don't even have to use any of these arguments that my little friends have suggested. So I was like, sweet. So, I didn't get him done like right away. It was like around my birthday, and it was around Easter, I think. My sister had dance on Monday nights, and so we dropped her off at dance, and then we went to the local mall and went to Limited 2, because that was like the only place that I knew of that had an ear piercing station at the time. So I went into Limited 2 and I said, I want to get my ears pierced. And they said, okay. So, like, in retrospect, I should have gone. There's way better places to get ears pierced than at the mall. But I mean, it worked out great. Like, they're fine. So, I go to Limited 2 and, like, sit down in the chair. And this is kind of embarrassing, but, like, to prepare for this, I would like dig my nails into my earlobes to like see what the pain felt like. So I was like, oh, it'll probably feel something like this. So that's just how I was. I did dumb things like that. To prepare for going on an upside down ride for the first time, I hung upside down for a while. so yeah, I dug my nails into my earlobes to like try to figure out what it would feel like. So I'm sitting there. And of course, their ear piercing station is like in the window. So all these, teens are all gathered around outside. I'm like waving at them, and they're like, probably like, oh, this girl's getting her ears pierced. She's gonna cry. What's she gonna do? Is she gonna do a trick? And It was done with an ear piercing gun, which I know there's better ways to do, but it worked fine. So she shows me like this panel of earrings, and I chose the worst possible ones. They were like flat and round. They're like round and flat on top, like a thumbtack, and they had a purple flower on them. And I have no idea why I chose those. They were like so hard to turn, like you're supposed to turn them twice a day. And it was like really awkward to grab them and turn. It was so dumb. I don't know why I didn't just choose a gem, but whatever. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go for the purple flower. So I did, and I think it was they did my right ear first. They didn't do them together. I've seen some YouTube videos where they do them together, and I'm like, no, they did not do them together. There's a lot more potential for error when you do that. So she did the right side first, and I held my mom's hand, and she was like, 1, 2, 3, click. And it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. Like, it hurt, of course, because it's, piercing several layers of skin, but I could feel it go through like every single layer of my skin, but it didn't like move me to tears. Like, the pain wasn't that like really sharp pinching pain. It was just like, kind of exactly how I did that, but like deeper. And it only took like half a second, to stick it all the way through my ear. And so it was done, and I was like, oh, and I didn't cry, I didn't freak out, I didn't jump. Like, I squeezed my mom's hand really hard, and she got mad. But when she actually did it, I like wasn't holding my mom's hand that hard, and so I was like, oh, cool. And then of course, like, immediately it gets all warm and red, because that's just the body's response to that. So I was just like, oh, look at that, whoa, cool. And then they went to do the other side, and she goes 1, 2, 3, squeeze, and it didn't pierce. It just like fell out of the gun, fell onto the floor. So it's like, oh, that's weird. So she picks it up, puts it back in the gun, and does a second time, 1, 2, 3, squeeze, and it didn't go through my ear. It just it fell into the floor. So she's like, the chick doing it was like mortified. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry it's not working out. Let me get my manager. So I was like, okay. So she goes and gets the manager. The manager is this like stereotypical, like, she's got like blonde hair, and she was like chewing her gum. My mom was like, oh, that lady was a pig with her gum, because she was like, oh yeah, let me help you. Oh yeah, she didn't do the gun right or whatever. She was really weird, kind of ditzy. I don't know if she was in high school or college, because as a 5th grader, everyone over 13 looks like an adult. So so she comes over and she's like, let me see that. So she like grabs the gun, loads it up. She does it. So she holds it up to my ear, and she goes 1, 2, 3. So she did it a little differently. She squeezed it on 3. She didn't wait. So it was either that or it was backwards. I don't remember, because it was when I was 11. 14 years ago now. So her counting was different. So it kind of took me by surprise, but whatever. And she got it to go in, and I felt it go through every layer of skin, and it didn't hurt. It wasn't a big deal. So finally it got in, and because of all that trouble, they gave us the kit for free. So instead of paying like $30 or whatever it is, I got my ears pierced essentially for free. So that was really cool, and I had them, and I was like super like militant. Like, twice a day I do this, and I twist them, and I put the little solution on them, and blah blah blah. And then my left ear got infected like a couple weeks later. It was like all swollen and pus. So we went to urgent care. It wasn't like a huge emergency, but he like carefully removed it, and like pus would come out when I squeezed it. It was really disgusting. But I did not want to lose the piercing, so I just put in dangly earrings that like don't have a back. They have like a really long wire, and I just like put that in for a while. And it took like a year for my ears to heal. Like, they kept getting infected and would like leak pus, and it was really gross, but they never like looked bad. And so in like 5th grade, like once they were like healed enough for me to change the earrings, I changed my earrings every day, and I was like, that's so weird that people like don't change their earrings every day, which is really funny, because now I haven't changed these since I put them in, and I don't even remember when that was. It was like at least a year. Well, it was in my mom's condo, so it would have had to have been a little less than a year ago. About a year ago. So, yeah, I've had these in for almost a year. They're like green squares. They're in my mom's jewelry box. I was like, Mom, do you have any earrings I can wear that are green that you don't wear? because I had fake diamond earrings, and if they're too small, my earlobe eats them, so they have to be like kind of big, but not like gaudy big. And my favorite are like fake diamonds. So, but they just got gross because I had them in for like 3 years, and they get really gross after a while. Um, so yeah, so it finally healed. It took a long time. It was really frustrating, but anyway, at my what was I gonna say? I totally forgot what I was gonna say because my husband just texted me. But there was something I was gonna add. Yeah. Oh, okay. After I got my ears pierced and I went to school like the next day, all my little friends were like, "Oh, look! And they looked fake, looked like sticker earrings. So they had me like lift up my earlobe to like make sure there was a back. I suck at this. I really suck at this. I'll just take it out to make sure there's actually a back. And there is. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. Let's see if I can put it back in without looking. It took me. My mom had to put in my earrings for me. It took me a long time to do my own earrings, and I couldn't do it without a mirror for a long time. But yeah, so I just put it back just fine. Sometimes if I take them out, like I'll hit a false space and they're really hard to put back in. They kind of swell up. But that went in fine, so yeah. So that's the story of how I got my ears pierced, and it's just kind of a lame little story. But for VEDA, it's a nice little memoir or whatever. So there you go. There's VEDA day for a day late. So yeah.